Nadia, over the past couple of weeks I've introduced you to Maya, so today I'm gonna give you a bit of an assessment to see how well you're progressing. So we're going to recreate the Pokeball that we've done in the past couple of weeks. So can you remember how we started this off? We used one of the main primitive shapes, which was the sphere. So if you want to select the sphere, we need to rescale it, so we need to make it a bit go larger. So if we use the scale tool, and then you've got your 3-axis marks, and then there's one in the center. If you click on that one and drag it out, it will scale the entire object. Okay. So it keeps the same ratio. Now it's up to you if you want to leave it where it is, or if you want to move it up using your move tool. So I tend to leave it where it's there because you've got that grid to go off. So what we're going to do, now we've got our sphere here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a different perspective view, and we're going to apply textures to it, and before we actually start modelling it, because it just makes it easier for when we come to render it afterwards. Right. So if you press space on the keyboard, right, so now we're in the side perspective view. This just makes it easier so we can be more precise when we're actually doing the modelling. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this shape into three sections. So the top half is going to be white, the middle half is going to be straight down centre, is going to be black, and then the bottom half is going to be red. So it's going to replicate the Pokeball.
Right. Okay.
So we're going to start off with, if you get your selection tool, we're going to highlight. So if we split it down the centre first, we know the difference between a top and middle and bottom. So if we highlight the middle bit, just be careful on how much you do highlight, because you don't want to highlight any. Oh, sorry. Right click and go to face, and then try that one again. So what that's done is it's split it up into sections, so your segments, and we've highlighted down centre. Right. So what we're going to do is apply a texture to this right now. So if you right click and hold, go all the way down to assign new material.
This one?
Yeah, and then you can let go. If you select the fourth option down,
right, boom.
Yeah, that's the one. Click on that. It'll bring up into the properties panel here. So yours has come up straight away, which mine hasn't. So if you click on that, then click on your colour, and then change that to black. There you go, brilliant. So before we continue creating a Pokeball, I just want to catch up. How are you actually enjoying your course then?
It's actually going pretty smoothly. There's a lot of different topics and units covered, and I think it'll really help me later on.
I know you've stated that you want to do computer science when you leave college and go to university. So you're doing a really creative course, and it does obviously cover programming, but obviously we've got 3D design here. So why has this course been, a good stepping stone for you to go to university?
Well, if I do end up changing my mind and going into games programming, to say for specifics, then I will still have all the 3D modeling behind me and game level design and stuff.
So it's giving you good transferable skills into different pathways then, so that's brilliant. Right, so what we'll do, we'll continue creating this Pokeball. Right. So we've split the ball down the centre. So now we need to apply a texture to the top and the bottom half. So all we're going to do, make sure you've got your selection tool, and we're going to highlight the top half. So that's, just be careful, you've just got that one. So just click off, and then there you go. And then if we right click, so like we just did before, assign new material, you select another font.
Right.
So like we did before, we click on colour, and then we're going to click red. Sorry, going to click, no, we're going right, we'll go red at the top, and then click off. Highlight, just repeat the same process, but we're going to select the bottom part.
Right.
Right click, assign new material, that font, and then turn this bit white. And we've then got all the basis of our actual Pokeball. Right, just before we continue with this then, so you've been doing this course now that you're onto your second year, so what skill sets have you picked up since day one?
Oh, I've learned lots of different types of programming. I've done, well, 3D modeling now. We've done some animation. We've done system analysis design. I've done a lot of, I've built up my confidence a lot in comms and employ in year one when we had all those presentations.
How did, because you did a placement for us last year, so how did comms and employability feed into the actual work placement you did?
Oh, it helped telling me exactly the right way to behave and like act in a workplace. And
So
it really
all
helped.
about professionalism and
Yeah.
everything. That's brilliant. So, what kind of different programming languages have you learned then?
We've done Python. We've done HTML.
So we're still going to work in this view point because we just need to reselect the middle bit because we
Okay.
need to indent this. So if we just highlight and select like we have done before, right? So now we've highlighted, we're going to don't click off this because you want to keep this highlighted and selected. Press space and then highlight your perspective panel. So we're going to go back to the 3D view.
Right.
Click space again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually indent this. So we're going to use a tool called Extrude. So if you see where it says Arnold
Yeah.
and you see this little icon here,
This one.
that's
This
the one.
Right. Okay.
If you click on that, that will give you the Extrude tool. You need to go onto your scale tool, which is that one.
This one.
And then work on the yellow one and then drag it in. I'm gonna zoom in so we can see. So if we drag that in, don't have to go too far, so we only need to have like a little nice lip like that. You can deselect now, and what we can do, so we don't select anything we don't want, if you just go back to object mode and make it into a solid. Right, we're almost finished with this now. What's been your highlight of the course so far?
It's probably going to have to be the Visual Basic we did when we were building websites. That was really fun.
Yeah. So, how have you found the college in itself, the facilities and the resources you've been given?
Oh, it's really nice. We've got like a Mac suite. We've got like the full Adobe suite. We've got like Maya. This Maya software itself is really good.
Yeah. So, using all the industry standard software has been a good highlight for yourself.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend this course to anyone?
Yeah, because it has lots of stuff inside of it that focuses on things outside of games. Like this, just from this course, you could go onto a graphic design course from what we're learning from Maya, or just like I want to, computer science or programming.
Yeah. So you're saying there's plenty of flexibility and different directions and different routes you could take.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. So let's get this finished off.
Right.
So we've literally one more shape to add in there. Now it is hidden behind there, so if you just get your select tool, so your move tool, and then just move it outwards, there we go. So I will do the same. What we need to do is rotate this. So if you've got your shape selected, click on your channel box, which is there, yeah, and then it should be rotate Z, and you go and do a bit of maths, 90 degrees. There we go. So we're going to go into a different perspective view, so to line that up, so don't worry about that. So again, just press space. You're probably best off working on your side view, and then you just need to drag it all the way across. So use your grid. So in fact, just come out of that 1 second. Just go into your front view,
Right.
and then just drag it so it's there. There you go. And then drag it so it's up.
Like that?
Yeah, so it's level. So I use this grid as your tool. So that's like that. Then come out to this perspective. And then on this side view, just drag it so it's, there we go, perfect. And I'll just make sure mine is exactly where I wanted it. So go back to your 3D view. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the colour of this shape.
Right.
So we're just going to assign a new material. Go to Phong again and apply, turn it white. before, what we're going to use now is we're going to use this button to cut out a hole here, and then we can, so we're having like a holding place for our button. Right. So this is going to get deleted. So, but we want this shape and the colour and everything to be where it is.
Okay.
So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just rescale it a touch. So if you get your scale tool, just make it, don't make it ridiculously big, but just a touch bigger. Right. And then I'm going to Control and D to duplicate this. And then I'm going to get your move tool and just drag out the copy version there. That's brilliant. Okay. Select your first one and drag that so it's, don't put it all the way in, so you're just going to move it slightly in, so it's just edged in just a bit further. There we go. So what we're going to get is like a small indentation. Right. So click your Pokeball, hold down Shift and click the button, and then we're going to go to Mesh, and what we're going to use is Booleans, and this is going to delete the shape. So if you go to Difference,
press it.
Yeah, click that one, and you'll see that it's that has given us a nice indentation. Yeah. So all we need to do now is get this button. We're going to make this one slightly smaller, so get your scale tool and move your button inwards. And then we're just going to finish off with a final bit of detail because we're perfectionists here. Go back to your perspective view, so press space, and then go to your side view. So I'll zoom in on this. So make sure that's selected, right click and go to face mode. You just have to be careful with this because you on what you're selecting, so make sure you're holding down Shift as well. So we're going to have to go around each one of these individually. So all I'm going to do is select, keep going around. Just be careful on this because sometimes you can select a different face.
Right.
So once you've got all them, we're going to extrude twice. Go back to your perspective view. So extrude once, but we're going to use a scale tool and get your move tool and then drag it outwards. There we go, and there you've got your button. Brilliant, so that's pretty much it.
Right. So
what we could do now to finalise that, we could apply some lighting and some shade into it, and then we could full blown render. But I think you've done enough there. All the skill sets that you've been learning over the past couple of weeks, you clearly have shown again that you really do fully understand this software. So brilliant. So just one last question before you go. What is the end dream then? Where do you want to end up once you're fully qualified and you've been to uni?
Probably into web design, like web programming.
So more web programming and everything. Yeah. So brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Nadja. Well done.